Greetings, Darlene here from Darlene's Garden. I can't believe it's already almost the middle of January. How does the time go so fast? I know when I was a kid, people would always say, the older you get, the faster the time goes. Well, I think it's true. The only time that's not true is like if you're anticipating something really special. Then it seems like time just creeps along. But anyway, it's nearly the middle of the month. I just made a discovery as I was sitting here talking to you. I thought I had all my Christmas decorations put away. Oh, look what I see hanging up in the doorway. Oh, when I get done videoing, I'll take it down and take it in, put it with the other decorations. I missed that one. Middle of January. Well, as some of you probably, if you watched a couple of my previous videos, realized I have some plants that I have started already, some cool weather plants that I should be able to plant out in my garden mid-March. So this is nearly mid-January, so it's got 2 months to grow in my house. And about another month I will start some of the warm weather plants. I have noticed that for the most part, at least my past experience is that plants grow not as big for me and maybe not quite as fast. So if someone else needs, say, 8 weeks for something to grow to where it's strong enough to put outside, I might need 10 weeks. And I have in the past had a problem with some of my brassicas getting really leggy. So I'm attempting to keep them closer to the grow lights so that I have one little plant that's right off the bat got leggy. But the rest of them seem to be doing okay so far. I plucked that one out and put it in a pot by itself, and I don't know, it's kind of a spindly little thing. I don't know how it will do. Anyway, one of the things that I'm getting ready to do, and there are lots of people on YouTube showing you how, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell you that I'm going to do it, and that's to get a larger tray and put more microgreens in. I have radish in particular, and then I think I have some mixed greens that I can kind of intersperse in with the radish, because my little containers just seem to almost not be enough. I wanted to talk a little bit about grow lights today too. I have 3 grow lights, 2 that are just white tubes, and then one that has the red and blue. They're all about the same size as far as the size is concerned. I would like to get 1 or 2 more, since my husband built me those nice shelves. I will see as time progresses. But that's my goal for, well, this weekend I want to get a larger tray of microgreens planted so that I will have more coming on. I'm trying in this new year to continue to eat more healthy. I've been working on it, but I want to do even more. A lot of people go on a keto diet. My daughter has been on a Code Red diet. I can do things off of those menus, but the thing that I just have not been able to figure out how to eat enough so that I'm not starving to death without eating some flour products. It's easier to eliminate the sugars. That's not as hard. Eliminating the flour, that's hard. Because I like bread. I like crackers. Well, like this morning for breakfast, I had an English muffin. On it, I put some habanero jam, or jelly, I guess it was, and some cream cheese. Oh, that was good. And then yesterday for breakfast, I had a bunch of not wheat thins, Triscuits. Probably not so good for me, but I like them. We have two kinds of cold cereal in the house. We have Cheerios and we have Corn Flakes. And I told my husband next time I get Cheerios, I'd like to get all bran. Because I remember growing up as a kid, that was one of my favorite cereals. Ooh, they make good muffins too, all bran muffins. Yum. I have several different kinds of flour. I have some almond flour and some coconut flour and some whole wheat flour and just regular flour, like all-purpose. I may have told you this a long time ago. Quite a few months ago, I kind of ran out of my all-purpose flour. Sent my husband to the store to get some. So what does he come home with? Cake flour. Like 50 pounds of it. So I've been using it in place of all-purpose flour. For the most part, it's doing what it needs to do. The thing that I've struggled with, I started a sourdough starter. And the starter smells like sourdough starter. I had some sourdough pancakes, they were good. But I've tried sourdough bread a couple of times and I just simply can't get it to rise. The last time it rose better than the first time, but when I bake it, the crust around the outside gets so hard that it's impossible to eat the bread. So that's something that I still need to work on. And I've got some recipes to do some other things with sourdough starter. So I think that's the route I'm going to go, is just things other than bread per se. I'm still working on making my own kombucha and my own ginger drink. With my ginger bug, and then making ginger ale out of it. And what else am I doing? Things that I want to videotape this year. I'd like to kind of focus in on doing some series. I guess series is plural of series. Anyway, making a playlist of going through certain things that I do and teaching others how to do it. Like when I do some recipes, going through what I put in the recipe and how it all turns out. I have a chocolate cake sourdough recipe that I think is my next, what I'd like to do. Also some things in my garden, a series on my worms. I have been collecting food scraps from the kitchen. As I collect them, last year I had a little bucket. I put them in and put it like by the sink, but I kind of struggle with gnats when I do that. So what has seemed to work better this year is that as I get kitchen scraps, I throw them in a plastic sack and put them in the freezer. And as I take the sack out of the freezer, throw more in it, put it back in the freezer, so that when I'm ready to feed the worms, I take it out a while before so it's not totally frozen, and I'm all ready to feed the worms some nice, fresh, not so fresh food. And as summer approaches, I'll probably use some of it just for composting in the garden. Also, one thing I've done in the past is dig trenches and throw food scraps down in and cover it back up with dirt and then leaves. And that seems to make my ground really nice and soft so that I can plant things that need roots to go down deep. Because I've noticed some of my ground where I have not planted things before is pretty hard, and I think my soil tends to be a little bit clayey, not horribly clayey, but somewhat clayey, as opposed to sandy. It's more clayey than sandy. I sent off, I should have gone out in today's mail. I prepared it yesterday. Last year, I purchased some live plants, and they happen to be bare root, from a company, and I'm not going to name the company. But by the time, when they shipped, for some reason it took almost 2 weeks to come from Midwest out to my house. I think that did some of the most of the plants. Even though I followed the directions, I could not revive them. So I contacted the company, and they sent me a voucher for not all the money that I spent, but for close to half of it. Anyway, I got their recent catalog, and I sat down, and my voucher was for $28.29. So I went through the catalog and picked out things and factored in how much shipping and handling they require. For my $28.29 voucher, I just sent off an order for $28.28. So they get the benefit of 1 penny. Hopefully I picked things that will do okay for me. I picked a fig. They only had 1 fig in their catalog. And I hadn't really heard of this fig, but I'll give it a try. And I may, because I'm in a cooler climate, well, it's hotter in the summer, but cooler in winter. Not cold, but zone 6. I may possibly plant the fig when it comes in a container. I think that might be my best bet, so that when next winter comes, I don't. Well, last spring, I had purchased a fig tree from Home Depot, and in the house it was doing just fine in the little container that I purchased it in, and it looked like it needed to be, it was like getting a little bit stressed out, so it had grown leaves and all kinds of things. Planted it outside, and immediately we had a rainstorm, blew all the leaves off of it, and page is never recovered. And it was a Chicago hardy fig, which I know would do okay in this climate. But, and I'm planning to get another Chicago hardy fig. I think a Celeste fig would do okay in this climate too. The one that was in the catalog that I just ordered from was called a biblical fig or something like that. And I think it says that it's hardy, zones 5 through 8 or something like that. And I'm in zone 6, so it should be okay, but I think I'll put it in a container just to be on the safe side so that I can move it to parts of my yard or even indoors, depending on what the weather is, to give it the best opportunity to grow. So I'm getting anxious for that. I also got a couple of mock orange bushes, and hopefully they come in good condition. When I saw that I had a hard time deciding what I wanted to get for the rest of my money. But I finally went back and relied on my memory of my childhood. We had in our yard, from the back porch, we never used the front of the house. In fact, the front of the house we did some remodeling, didn't even have a front door, so there was no front of the house. I mean, front of the house you think is facing the main street. Well, we used what we called the back door, and that faced the side street. There was a sidewalk going from the porch to the road. And on either side of the sidewalk, right before you got to the gate that takes you out to where we parked the cars and to the road, on one side there was a mock orange bush, and the other side there was a syringa bush. And they both bloomed more or less at the same time. Oh, it was heavenly. They were just so beautiful. And so when I saw that in the catalog, I'm going to give that a try, because that will just bring back lots of memories. Then I had $3.80 left to spend. So I went to to get something that cheap, I would have to go to the part. They only had a few pages of things with actual seeds instead of plants that are already alive. So I finally decided on a bean. I forget it's a white pinto bean, I believe. Just pure white. A California pinto bean, maybe it was called. Something like that. So we'll give that a try. And hopefully it doesn't take forever for them to, once they ship it, for it to get here. I know a lot of you have talked about your Baker Creek catalog. And I thought, since I ordered out of it, I looked to see when I ordered. Last year, in 2018, I ordered in October. 2019, I ordered in January. And they said if I had ordered last year, I would get a free catalog. Well, it hasn't arrived yet. So I finally went in just a couple days ago and ordered a free catalog. So if I get my free one, that automatically gets sent, and one I ordered, I may end up with two, which is perfectly all right. I have another friend locally that does some gardening, and I'll probably share the catalog with her. Speaking of her, she just asked me some questions yesterday about have I started plants indoors, and she wants me to look at her plot and help her decide what she needs to do to get it ready for a garden. And I got the impression she hadn't really grown a garden yet before, so that will be kind of fun. Me working in collaboration with someone locally. And hopefully I did kind of answer her questions for her. And I've already kind of gone through that with you guys on some of my previous videos, what I'm growing here in the house. The last time I talked to you about it, there were 3 of them that hadn't germinated yet. When I looked yesterday afternoon, there's only 1 that hasn't germinated yet. And I think it was the chives that haven't come up yet. But everything else has some little bitsy plants. So, and hopefully they're not any worse for the wear. We had trouble setting the timer on one of my grow lights. I have 2 grow lights on one timer, and then a grow light over on the other side of the room on a different timer. That one was working fine. The one over on this side, I was having to manually turn it off and on. So I finally got down and tried to fix the timer so that it went off and on at the right time. And thought I had it fixed. But I obviously didn't. The lights were on, but they didn't turn off. They stayed. They ended up being on for 36 hours. My husband fixed it, so they went off last night at the right time. So they did get their darkness last night, but the night before they didn't get. 4 plants didn't get to go night-night. They don't seem to be any worse for wear for it, so I think we're okay. I think if that happened night after night after night, we'd have a problem. But just one night of accidentally having the lights on all night didn't seem to hurt them. Today's weather. Well, yesterday in the morning, I'll go back to yesterday. In the morning, I looked out the window. There were snowflakes coming down. Snowflakes. Snow. So I don't want snow. But as the day progressed, the snow turned into rain. And it has stayed rain. So this morning, today, it's rainy and windy and blustery and just not so nice outside. A lot of areas surrounding us are having snow and really icky weather. So I guess I'm glad that ours is just rain and wind. Reminds me of when I lived on the Oregon coast in the wintertime. Spring, well, even all year round, we'd have windy, rainy weather. So I'd gotten used to it there, but not so used to it here. That's okay. It will pass. Before you know it, it will be springtime. I'm looking forward to springtime. Well, I better let you go so that I can take that little red bell down off of there and get it put away. And I have some bookwork that I need to do for an organization that I'm secretary-treasurer for. And I have some relaxing to do because it is the weekend. And I'm going to call this my Sunday afternoon chit-chat, even though it's actually Saturday morning. So I may or may not get around to actually making a video for you on Sunday. Time will tell. If I do, I do, and if I don't, that's perfectly okay. let me know in the comments things that you'd like me to talk about, because sometimes I just feel like I'm rambling on, and I want my videos to be of value to other people. I know it's of value to me because I get to talk about things. And I don't know if I should focus on more directly on teaching, or if you're okay with just me telling you about my life and things that are going on with my garden and my kitchen, my household. Or if I should be answering questions, things that I know about. I've learned a lot about gardening. Of course, I don't know everything, nobody does. But I could answer some gardening questions if you have them. I can answer some cooking questions if you have them. I can answer some leadership questions if you have them. I can answer some public speaking questions if you have them. I can answer some web page creation questions if you have them. I know a lot about a lot of things, but I do not know everything about anything. And if you ask me a question that I don't know the answer to, I usually know how to find the answer. And I think that's key to knowing a lot of things, is not really having to remember all those things, but knowing where to find the answer. So on this blustery Saturday morning, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye. May the good Lord richly bless you. Until we meet again on the next video, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button, share, and comment. Love you guys. Bye.